welcome to the 2nd August update from Dean Park Station. As we head into the late summer, early autumn season, hopefully work will pick up in pace in and around the layout. This month I've been very busy at one end of the loft, and I'll cover that and some more in this video. Hope you enjoy, and I always look forward to your comments. Okay, I've spent all of August laying the Fiddle Yard, and it is now completed. If I zoom along to the east end slightly, you'll see two tracks at the right there curving round the corner and disappearing there. They rejoin the layout. That's where the trains will come from the layout or go on to the layout. And it's almost a symmetrical layout I've kind of gone for on the main lines. And up the left there I've got 5 sidings which vary from a metre to maybe $1.20 m in length. They'll be for short coach formations and DMUs. As I come along to this part of the layout, we've got longer sidings, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long ones up the right there, and these are capable of taking 7 to 8 Mark 1 or Mark 2 coaches, and the longer ones can take 7 or 8 Mark 3s and an HST, which is what I was really trying to cater for. The longest siding will cater for the HST formation of coaches and power cars. Kind of a mirror image on the access at the west end as it is the east end, with 2 tracks coming in. However, what I've done is I've only got 1 track joining the layout at this end, so I've got a turnout splitting into 2, or as you go the other way, converging into 1, and that will go along the back of the layout. As you can see a bit of track there. Access to there will be challenging when the backboard's in place, but I'll be able to lay the track no bother, and I'll be using my track cleaning wagon to keep the track clean. It'll go from there through the gap that I'm going to cut, and it will rejoin the other side and go to the Fiddle Yard. So that's the plan for that section. As with every new project that you do, it throws up little problems and challenges that you never expected. With this one, it came with the turnouts for me. I have future-proofed this Fiddle Yard by drilling the holes for the point motors and also connecting a wire to the wire that was already pre-fitted there, which connects to the frog. When I usually get my turnouts ready for fitting to the layout, I snip the wires that are in between those 2 gaps. I don't know how well you can see that. The gaps in the turnout there. You have to do this if you're fitting point motors and accessory switches, because obviously the accessory switch will change the polarity of the frog, and if you've got that, it passes connection to the end. There might be a short when locos pass over, etc, etc, so you have to snip the wee wires there. I'd been doing that as by habit, wasn't fitting accessory switches. Should have been a problem, but there was. The reason the problem occurred is that I had points backing onto each other, one after t'other, and that frog was dead, and so was that. And when the 101, the class 101, and the Deltic went across it, just so happened that both bogies were on the dead spots, and it cut the power. And it did tend to chug away sometimes, but you know, it was annoying, especially when you've got 4 turnouts in a row. You know, it wasn't very smooth running at all, especially with the DMUs. And as this area here is for DMUs and some locos and stuff like that, it was bugging me. I could have got around it by fitting point motors and accessory switches, but I didn't want to do that at this point. So what I did was I relayed it with points that I hadn't broken the wires there, because Pico are at pains to point out in their instructions no modification has to be made to a point while using DC or DCC. However, if you are fitting accessory switches, you have to snip this wire. So I've fitted them, and these wires are in place. Obviously, if I do fit accessory switch in the future, I just have to put a knife through there and break them. But it solved the problem. Didn't bother it when the point formation was like that, because the frogs were further apart, and the loco, you know, always found a live piece of track to keep it powered. And I think only the real problem that came as a result of what I'm doing here is I'm using small radius turnouts. If I was using a medium one, the distance between the frogs would have been greater, and it wouldn't have maybe had the same detrimental running on the class 101 and the Deltic. So they were sorted, relayed. So some of them have got the wires cut, like for example that one has, but that one hasn't. So only this frog's dead, but this one's got some power, so it doesn't pose a problem for the reliability of the running. Hope that makes sense. You know, it's something I didn't anticipate because I've never really used small radius turnouts before, and obviously the frog distances are different from that of the medium and large radius ones. So there we go, there's the Fiddle Yard. I'll give you a quick running of maybe some wee locos popping in and out just to show you it at work. But I'm very pleased with what I've managed to achieve. If you go back to my May video, this still wasn't even here. You know, I think I was just planning the idea and it was going to be far smaller than it actually turned out to be. This has got over 27 metres of straight track in it, or you know, non-turnout track. It is a monster of a Fiddle Yard, and it should cater for most of my required rolling stock. I mean, I've got a lot of rolling stock, but a lot of it's duplication, so I'll be able to have a really big selection of stuff here just to quickly divert into the layout, and it will make for more interesting running sessions. I'll not have to unbox coaches and locos. What I've got here is a new development at Dean Park. I have my iPhone, and I have finally managed to get the Hornby Railmaster app to connect to my laptop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into it. It's now starting to read the locos and the plan. What I'll do after it's logged in, I hope you can see this with the light, the camera on the screen. There is my control panel, and what it allows me to do is to control one train at a time. If I've got my iPad, it can do 2 trains at a time, but when I'm in the Fiddle Yard for doing shunting, etc., you know, I'll come up here and I'll put my app on and I'll do my shunting and whatnot, and I'll go back to the main layout to my laptop and control it through the touchscreen there. If I want, I can control it anywhere with this app. So if I go into my locos, and again, I apologise if you can't see this video on the screen, I'll open up Sir Walter Scott, and if you look at it, I'll pop the lights on, put the cab lights on, cab lights off, and what I can do is I can use the normal functions that I would do on the Railmaster via the laptop or the PC, and I can control it. And if I want to stop it, the usual kind of stopping distances apply depending on how you've got the decoder set up. I can change the direction, and then I can shunt. Back it comes again, and then I'll stop. So there we go. And if I want to change the loco that I can scroll through it. It's got all the locos that I've got on my system. There's a 2-car DMU, and as I say, it allows me to control the lights. Obviously with sound locos there were more options in the blue boxes. There is a limit, but you know, when I'm up here using the Fiddle Yard, I'm not going to be worrying about tooting horns and shoveling coal with my Union of South Africa, so it will allow me just to do what I need to do here and then go back to the main part of the layout. But as I say, it is a nifty wee piece of kit, to be honest with you. You know, especially when you can come up here and you can change the controlling of the trains in the Fiddle Yard to do the shunting, etc. You know, so it's a case of going in, scrolling to the right loco, which always helps. Sir Walter Scott, change direction, there we go, and I'm going to shunt. I can stop, and you know, I can change direction and do what I need to do. It really is it really is good value for money. I don't know how much it cost me, £8 for the to actually buy the app. And I say I would have found it very difficult to control the Fiddle Yard movements if I hadn't had this handheld operation. Obviously you've got handheld devices on the market, but I just obviously invested in a laptop and Railmaster with E-Link, so I wanted to really utilise what it could do, and therefore I've got this app. And yeah, it is good. It took me 2 weeks to actually get it to install, because I had trouble getting registering it through Hornby, and Hornby get back to you, but they kind of get back to you in their own time with any problems and issues. But they talked me through it, and it was eventually something to do with my firewall that was stopping the new app coming in, or the new, the software to register it, and that was, that was one of these things. But it's all there in the kind of instructions, which actually are quite thorough. So I would recommend, if you've got the Railmaster, upgrade to the E-Link if you've got access to a PC or laptop, and it gives you this option of using the smartphone. It does Androids as well, and Palm devices, because it allows you to come away from the main part of the... my laptop's away down there, and there's no way I'm darting back and forward to try and get locals to move 1.5 feet, 2 foot in length, and then stop them again, and it would be a disaster. So this has allowed me to make this, so I am now chuffed to bits that I'm up and running with the handheld device. If you have any questions on the Railmaster, don't ask me. It really drove me mental trying to get it to read and IP addresses. I'm not a technically minded guy when it comes to computers, I have to say, and it was quite a challenge. But now that it works, it seems so simple. I do recommend it. And I'm not getting paid commission from Hornby to say that. More's the pity. Any questions on the Fiddle Yard? Obviously you'll see it fill up over the next month or so as I do my next videos, preparing for winter, and lots of running sessions, and lots of time up the loft playing with my layout. But the next stage is to connect this bit to the layout, and that'll happen within the next month, and we'll be up and running.